All right. Okay, so let's get this started. This should be pretty easy. I mean, one of the episodes we're about to talk about is a recap episode. They snuck that in there. They tricked you.
There's a recap episode?
Yeah, they tricked you.
I didn't even see that.
No,
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. It's just not. It just isn't framed like a recap episode.
Which one did I thought I watched the one where the guy is the wizard, the Pope wizard, and then the next one right afterward, right?
You watched there was 3 you should have watched.
Okay, I only watched the most recent one where they fight the Pope.
Okay, and then
because I read the description of the one before that, and I was like, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
and then did you watch?
You skipped the recap episode.
Because the last time we talked about the Pope one.
Yeah.
Where they shield themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then there was 2 now after that one?
Yeah. There was 3
yeah,
after that one.
What the fuck? I only watched 1.
You only watched 1?
I watched the one that ends with them going, we gotta work together now.
Okay, there's 2 more episodes.
What the fuck?
You just watched the recap episode.
Oh.
But if you go to Rising of the Shield Hero, yeah, there's more. Yeah, there's 2 more of them. See, in English, there's only 1, if you look.
Hello and welcome to the Anime Dumpster Dive Seasonal Anime Podcast, where we discuss an anime that is currently airing. Today we'll be discussing episodes 19 through 21 of The Rising of the Shield Hero. That was so satisfying to watch. I am your host and an adventurer named Slut, JKH. As always, I'm joined by my co-host and princess named Bitch, DJ.
I'm an adventurer named Slut.
And my other co-host and king named Trash, Anthony.
Yay! I'm the Trash King. Welcome to the Anime Dumpster Dive. I'm the Trash King. I don't know. I don't know what that was.
I mean, Dumpster, Trash King, yeah, it works.
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah.
I'm king of all the trash and anime.
You have
the
a crown.
trashy anime.
You have a crown made of like
hero shielder,
handshakers, bloody
yep.
wars, diabolic lovers.
Yep, diabolic
hero
lovers.
shielder.
Yeah, don't even get me started on those.
Now or never, hero shielder.
So let's just get started to it because I really want to talk about the latest episode. And we're actually pretty in luck because prior to this episode, I felt like the show was getting a little stale. Like the episode 19 and 20 made me go, oh no, this show hasn't been as good.
Yeah, it wasn't that I was losing faith. It's just like, you know how sometimes how a show can kind of eat up all of its content and as, you know, towards the end of the season kind of fizzle out a little bit. That's what I was afraid that was happening with this show, but I think that they pulled me back in.
They did.
Always doing it.
They were losing me, and then I went, damn it, I shouldn't have lost faith, because episode 21 was great.
Oh, it was.
Episode 19 was pretty interesting because upon looking at the our anime post on it, was that a lot of anime-only watchers liked it, and a lot of light novel and manga readers didn't like it. And that's because episode 19 kind of serves as a recap episode, because it's not in the manga or in the light novel. And I thought it was a kind of weak episode until I realized it was a recap episode, and I kind of went, it's a pretty good recap episode, because recap episodes are normally really bad and trash.
So they thought they were getting like the episode we saw last, but they got a recap episode.
They thought we were getting episode 20, the one where the actual fight with the Pope happens.
Yeah.
But no.
But they got a recap.
They got a recap episode.
I mean, that makes sense as far as being upset. You know, I would be upset about that.
But I mean, that adds to the argument that a lot of people have to this day, is that should source material dictate the quality of the adaptation? So, like, just because it's not in the source material, should that make that episode bad? Like, should that make you mad that you were expecting something else when it's a different platform altogether?
I would say that in certain cases where, you know, we just went through a pretty big, we just went through a pretty big topic on kind of how Game of Thrones did that, how they kind of steer away from the source material and how they kind of took the matters into their own hands as kind of the show writers. So, I mean, in certain situations, something like that, I mean, if it does no harm to kind of the original plot points of the anime, then absolutely, I'm all for it. But if it adds something that wasn't supposed to be intended, or they just create this brand new plot point that basically subverts, kind of the direction of which the source material was actually headed, then absolutely not. Do not do that. That is bad.
It's just generally, like, there's a certain voice that a piece has, and if you move away from that voice by writing it from someone else, generally doesn't work out well for you. There's people who've done it and who can replicate voices, and they're very well known for it. And generally, like Stephen King has been touted to be able to do that very well. When he's like writing as someone else, he seems like a different person. And then you've got Brandon Sanderson, who finished the Wheel of Time series, and people didn't even notice it was another writer. So you've got that, like someone who can do it. But I feel like oftentimes with shows, they don't care to make sure it's someone who knows what they're doing. They just are like, yeah, this is the guy who's going to write it, or this guy's a famous producer, he's going to produce it, and it turns out very badly. A good example being Full Metal Alchemist.
That's it. Yeah, I was also going to say a filler arc that everyone loves to forget is the Garlic Jr. arc in Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, how great one is that?
Yeah, how could you forget it?
Such a famous and amazing moment in the Dragon Ball Z universe, to the point where it's cut completely out of Dragon Ball Kai entirely. Just so famous and great that they just removed it.
But I mean, like, again, to DJ's point, because I wasn't even thinking about Full Metal Alchemist until he said it. Like, after, like, it ended so poorly with with an original ending that once the official ending got released, they remade that. They remade the series to get the original, to get the source material's ending. Mm-hmm. So, yeah,
just unable to replicate a voice correctly.
Yeah, I think that there's a difference when it's poorly translated, or when it's applied, when the source material is applied ineffectively. Like, I can understand that, and having an issue with that. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily read a lot of manga, but I can definitely say that I enjoy One Punch Man just as much as the next guy. So, but I don't understand, kind of where the disconnect is from the people who read the manga versus people who have watched the show. Where everybody on our anime seems to feel like the manga just creates this essence of hype, and where the show itself, isn't necessarily applying it. But is that for the showrunners? I mean, are the writers to blame, or is the anime studio, to kind of blame? It's like, who do you point your finger at, for ineffectively kind of applying the source material?
Well, someone's doing it wrong. Like,
somebody's doing it wrong.
If there's that many people crying out, there's something is amok,
I think it's definitely a mixture of funding and direction, because there is a scene that really stuck with me that I read in the One Punch manga. That when I saw it was adapted, I'm like, oh man, I have to watch that fight, and it doesn't hold up.
Right.
Like I waited for that exact scene, and I was just like, oh man, that's a bummer. Like, that felt like nothing.
Yeah.
But I guess pertaining to the the anime we're talking about now, does episode 19 hurt it being an anime original episode, or do you think that it kind of kept with the flow of the show? Like, did you think it disturbed the show at all?
At that point, I don't know. Yeah, I guess the show doesn't flow like crazy fast, so it's not like it was like a abrupt stop. Mm-hmm. I didn't really even notice it was a recap episode. I was just like, man, they're doing a lot of talk in this episode.
Yeah, that was probably my biggest gripe, is the amount of epilogue that we got. It's like something that we've griped about before is kind of the show versus tell argument. I think that comes up almost every single, kind of discussion that whenever we describe a really bad anime and what they do wrong, is when they have that source material, or when they have basically the idea that they want to show us, and all they do is just describe it, in kind of plain words. The problem was with this, and with most episodes that I have that are supposed to be flashback episodes, is there's so much epilogue. It's like, I've seen this. I've seen it before. You don't need to tell me again. Like, I am okay with being reminded about like small little scenes. I think the coolest part about this, though, was Ren and Moriyasu and everybody kind of realizing their mistakes over the next 2 episodes. I think that was really
like
cool.
Just a rehashing.
Mm-hmm.
It was more an explanation to the characters that didn't realize what they'd been doing. Like, it was him telling them what he had done versus him just saying to, like, us what he had done, which would have been really crap.
Yeah, like them sitting around the table and being remember when we killed that dragon? 5 seconds of the fight with the dragon.
It's more like, you guys fucked up, and this is how I fixed it. And then this happened, and then I fixed this. And they're like, oh, fuck, we did mess up. He's right. So, I mean, I think that's probably why I didn't notice it was a recap episode.
It's because the characters were reacting to the information.
Yeah, it was like an explanation. I didn't have much problem with it.
Okay. And neither did I.
I can agree with that.
But I will say it had one of my favorite things that... I love it when a show becomes a little self-aware. And so they're having this whole conversation, and the Pope's not doing anything. And then he goes, you gave me enough time to recharge my attack. Thanks for talking. And I went, that's why he wasn't doing anything. He was legitimately just letting them talk so he could recharge his attack. And that's a thing I love, is just when it breaks, like, anime tropes. When shows break anime tropes. Like in Digimon the movie, weird reference. The first movie, the bad guy attacks them while they're digivolving, which has been a question forever. It's like, why do they just let him transform? Like, why don't you attack him during the transformation? And he does it. And I'm like, that's great. That's cool. I like stuff like that.
Because the digivolve takes forever, too.
It does. Yeah.
So he has plenty of time.
Yeah, he just shoots them while they're digivolving. And they're like, oh, shit. He attacked them while they're digivolving. Yeah. So I just like
digivolves to Gigabar, and then it's like dunk 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 dunk. And it's like Gigabar digivolves to Gigabar.
Metal Garuru Man.
On a note not relating to Shield Hero at all, but relating to Digimon, my mind was blown when, as an adult, I was watching the new Digimon series that came out, and the music was different, and I was like, where's the techno music? And then finding out that the original Japanese version never had that stuff.
What?
Yeah, it has like this very beautiful opening, like music, and it's not like Digimon. I was like, what the fuck? So it really blew me off, blew me away. But anyway, back to Shield Hero, episode 20. We get the conclusion of the Pope fight, and also a new cursed shield power. And I thought we also find out what the Filial Queen did to his cursed shield, which was apparently weakened the curse that it puts on other people around him. Mm-hmm. Because like his party gets inflicted with it, but then it's gone like the next moment, and then it's kind of explained away in episode 21. But what did you guys think of Blood Sacrifice? Was it as cool as Iron Maiden?
I haven't thought either of them were that cool.
Oh.
I thought Blood Sacrifice was pretty cool.
It was cooler than Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I just love the visual of Iron Maiden a lot. I liked it more. I
like the visual of Blood Sacrifice more. It's like a chain dragon. That's pretty cool. Like a chain dragon.
Yeah, I do. I like that.
How the fucking graphicness of the Pope dying was insane. At one point, you see like one of the teeth like pop his eye out of socket. It's like half a frame.
Yeah.
And you're like, whew.
That's the level of gore that I wanted.
That's satisfying, and like that's I'm going to be using that word a lot from like this point on. But like that's something I want.
Like a Snickers.
Yeah, I want when a character makes me hate them, I want to have a satisfying end to them. Not to bring up Game of Thrones spoilers, but I mean we brought it up earlier. What happened to Cersei? Fucking trash. What happened to this Pope was so much better.
Mm-hmm. Like Cersei versus Joffrey, right?
Yeah. Exactly. It's like it's so good, such good payoff, and I thought the fight was pretty cool throughout. Watching the heroes work together, which was something that I've been kind of wanting to, like I've been itching for since it kind of hinted that they were going to team up.
Yeah,
and that's nice, and I like that this episode kind of is the start of that healing for their relationship. And it's right here is the start of my hype building up again for the show, because I'm like, fuck yes, like there's no fucking way after this, after killing the Pope, injuring himself for it, are they going to go back to treating him like shit?
That's what we hope. That is what we
Start
hope.
treating him pretty well.
Yeah, better start treating him nice.
Yeah. One thing that I did want to talk about too, while we were kind of semi on it, was kind of the Pope's satisfying death. And something that had kind of, I had said that I was fearful of is when you are introduced to a villain, a mine, and then we also find out that there is somebody behind, as kind of like the mastermind behind this that kind of just brainwashed mine into doing all of this stuff. Like she was doing it for the right reason, blah, 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 blah. That was something that, well, no. Like that's kind of the argument that I was hoping wasn't going to be made, because that would have made the story, that would have sucked. Like that would have absolutely sucked. And I was going to applaud the show for kind of doing this because I was more afraid that that's the kind of route that they were going to follow. And they did an effective job of making me hate the Pope, while also saying, okay, well, mine needs to get her fucking, her shit anyways. Like, come on, like,
They were like, okay, she's pretty shitty. This guy's way worse.
This guy's
like,
way worse.
You're like, okay. And they're like, but, I mean, she's still a bitch.
She's
you're
still
like,
shit.
yeah, she's still a bitch.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah, she's not a victim in this. She's still
Yeah,
just a shitty person.
exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I meant to bring that up because that was something that you were bringing up. Which again, I try, especially on this podcast, I try not to be too stubborn with stuff, and I have to admit when I'm wrong. In episode 21, there's one thing I fought DJ on pretty like right in the middle of the season, was that I was like, oh, there's the King's been part of it like all along, but I think episode 21 kind of hints that he had no idea that the rape accusation was fake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he's like, I hate the Shield hero. I didn't know that. That was something that surprised me. I thought he was just getting bamboozled, but it turns out that he was getting kind of allowing himself to be bamboozled with bias,
Mm-hmm.
'Cause he hated the last Shield hero. So when he hears that this one's a dick, he's like, all of them are dicks, So he kind of allowed himself to be tricked a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Which again is. Again, this episode is really good because, like, we learn that little bit about the King, and it adds so many more dimensions to the King other than he's an asshole, which was my whole belief. And now it's like, oh, he had a reason, and then there's this constant talk of him losing his family again because of the Shield hero, and so I'm like, I wonder what that means. But I guess I jumped ahead a lot.
Maybe he got a new family.
Got a new family. They called him like
maybe he was the cardinal hero, and they all died, so he never got to go back to his kingdom, and that's how he lost his family. Not his kingdom, like his home world, and that's how he lost his family because he never got to go back to his home world, so he lost them, and he had to start a new life here in whatever we'll call it,
as the consort king,
as the consort king. Yeah,
Rising of the King hero.
That's fucking hot take for me today.
That is pretty hot. That's pretty spicy.
That is a hot take.
The when they refer to him as the consort king, does that kind of mean that he like became a king because he just was like there originally for like pleasure?
Something like
that.
Something
Because
like
again,
that.
it is a matriarchy, so
yeah,
the queen holds the power. But okay, anyway, we're jumping all around. Let's talk about the part that I know I want to talk about the most, and that's mine going on trial.
Yes.
And oh my god, I loved every minute of it. I loved how they bring her out, and like the queen puts them on trial. Even the heroes are kind of like, whoa, they're not like, we forgive Nofumi for the shitty thing that he did. And it's like, no, he did no shitty thing, and we're gonna prove it by putting a slave crest on mine and making it impossible for her to lie to me. And
like, go ahead, ask her.
Yeah,
go ahead,
just ask her questions. And then she's an impulsive liar, so she is going to this is the only way we're going to be able to do this trial. And she is just screaming the entire time because she just everything out of her mouth is a lie. It's fantastic. Except there's that bit where she goes, you worked with the church to kill the cardinal heroes. And she goes, no, I didn't. No. Oh. And she goes, but you tried to kill your sister. What? Ah! And she just starts screaming. And I'm like,
so
yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You didn't try to kill the cardinal. All right. What about your sister? She's like, no. No!
Screaming in pain.
I didn't try.
I did. Everyone's like, ow. And then, like, Moriyasu doesn't believe it still, and so the queen's like, fuck it, you make a contract with her and you ask her. Mm-hmm. And so he asks her in such a way that it would be very easy to kind of answer, like, lie about. And she still does it, and she still gets electrocuted.
Yeah.
And they're broadcasting this to the all of Melremark, and everyone's like, oh, wow, they are shitty. And so the queen sentences them to death, and
it's just this is where it kind of gets like,
it gets kind of
okay.
It gets kind of
Yeah,
anime
yeah.
here,
Yeah.
but also I don't think it's out of character for what Nifumi does, because one, I love panicked animation, like when an anime character is like going insane and stuff, like in other anime, I just love it. And so when they throw mine onto the guillotine and she's just screaming and begging for help, I am like, this is haunting, and I am loving it. And I'll admit, at this point, I kind of was like, I don't know if I want her to die. Like, I kind of want them, like, I kind of want them to get punished, but I don't know if I want to watch mine get her head cut off. But right before they execute him, and before the queen is about to do something, I thought the queen was just going to stab herself right then and there.
I thought she was too. I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, is she just a crazy bitch? Like, why is she just like hella loves killing people or something? Like, what is going on here? I was like, that or this is like some dumb test, and then it was some dumb test.
I don't think it was a test, because I think she was full-heartedly going to kill them or kill herself.
Yeah.
I think.
But then why? Why do they have to die, or you? Like, I don't understand.
Well, she just
unless the shield hero says so. Like, what? I just thought the whole situation was weird.
From my understanding, they're getting accused not for just being shitty people, but they're being accused for treason.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
yeah, but why accuse them of that in the first place?
Because they were.
You're
they were
the
trying
queen.
To work
it's
with
your job.
They're trying to work with the three. They were working with the three heroes first to overtake the crown princess, which is well, the king wasn't. Mine was clearly.
Yeah, but you're not. This isn't a democracy. You're a queen. Like you're the one doing the sentencing. You know what I mean? You sentenced them to treason. So she's like, oh, they were sentenced to treason, and I would have given my life for them. It's like, no, you didn't have to do that. You just could have just not sentenced them to treason in the first place.
I think
it doesn't make sense.
For the ends to justify the means, she truly believed that what they did to Nifumi, not only Nifumi but the rest of the country, kind of it justified them being sentenced to death. And I think that like this was a little predictable too. Like that's the only problem that I had just with the kind of ending. Like
it also was predictable. I don't like that
we all knew. Come on. There's no way Nifumi was going to let him die. Like, I've watched enough of the show to know what kind of person Nifumi is.
He did, though.
But what if he fucking did, though? Oh, my gosh, yeah. There's a reaction vid, man.
Everyone's like, he's going to save him. He's going to... Yeah. Oh, no.
That would have been
cool. No.
Yeah. That would have surprised me. Like, I knew that was going to happen. It just, I don't think it makes much sense. Every one of your, like, subjects in your kingdom is like, whoa, you don't have to kill him. It's like none of them are expecting her to kill him. When she sentenced them to death, all of her people are like, what?
But
so why do it in the first place?
At the scene, though, they're cheering for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, now it's a public execution. Now it's exciting.
Now they're like,
but at first they were like, what?
Yeah. And it's like, oh, we're going to do it right fucking now. Guess what? And it's like, oh, like, what? Yeah.
Rush her, get our seats.
I think too, was kind of to show, necessarily not to the audience, but to, the not the I don't know how I'm going to word that. Anyways, to show basically the people of Melremark what type of person Nifumi actually is. I think that it is to kind of recreate, kind of Nifumi as the shield hero, to re-personify kind of what the shield hero stands for, and that is naming people bad names.
I'll tell you right now, Anthony, I did not think of it that way, and that's a good way to put it, is that it's kind of more of a publicity stunt for him. Because, again, I thought it was just her trying to appease him. Like, without, like, she's like, I don't know this guy, but I know people don't like being accused of rape. So, if I kill those people, maybe he'll be happy. I do love, though, because I thought it was weird at first, because she's calling for Nafumi, and then it kind of shows her cleavage. I'm like, that's a weird cut.
Yeah.
And then he goes...
I was alright with it.
Yeah. And then he goes... He's like, well, she's calling for me, and the slave crest isn't activating. I'm like, that's why they showed it. And so I thought... that she clearly is pleading for him for help, and she's not trying to lie about it. And then he gives them the names. He goes, how about they just stay prisoners forever?
My favorite thing is when she's like, but her adventurer name is mine. He's like, fine, then her adventurer name can be Slut.
He's like, Slut.
It reminds me of Scrubs.
Yeah.
It's like, everyone's Dave's, and all the women are Debbie's. And she's like, oh, well, my name's actually Debbie, so that really works out. He's like, well, then in the interest of fairness, everyone's going to be Dave's, everyone's going to be Debbie, except for Debbie. Debbie's going to be Slagathor. Dave's, Debbie's, Slagathor? Come on.
It was good. I thought that comedy in that scene landed pretty well.
Yeah. I liked it.
And then after that, Nafumi was like, I'll work with you guys, but I'm also going to work separately because, like, I have to help every nation, and that's honestly what we should all be doing. And they kind of go, yeah, I don't know about you, but I kind of wanted Nafumi to just straight up go, first thing I'm doing is going to that church and getting my classes upgraded, so that way we don't suck anymore.
Oh, yeah.
First thing I've done.
I think that's going to happen next episode. Like, thankfully, the show has a really good, ebb and flow to it. So I think that the next episode we're going to get kind of a slower episode because it's 25 or is it 24?
25.
So 25. Next episode's going to be pretty slow. And then, because that's 22, 23 will be another setup episode for the wave. 24 will be the wave. 25 will be the wave, and we'll be left on a cliffhanger.
You think cliffhanger? I think it's going to be a season finale where it's going to end. Where you get...
You think so?
Where that wave will end. There will be unclosed storylines. But I don't think we'll be sitting there going, what happens next?
Yeah,
I think we'll get who was that other person? What happened to Glass? And stuff like that.
I hope we get lots of answered questions and no unanswered questions.
It's just
season ones with unanswered questions are ridiculous to me. That's what season 2 is for.
That's what season 2 is for. Is for unanswered questions. Season 1 should be a whole pilot season.
It should be a wrap up itself in its own little. There's tons of examples. Star Wars is a good one. That's a perfect trilogy. It's just storyboarding wise, that's a perfect trilogy. The first one is to set up the world, make sure everything good. It exists in its own encapsulated universe. There's a happy ending. If you get canceled after the first one, you're good to go because it all worked out, right? Second season, that's our second movie, Star Wars movie. That's when you get to go a little crazy. You ended on a literal cliffhanger.
Literal. What? I can't speak.
Literal.
Fall off rock. Almost. But grab it.
Jake, send an ambulance, please.
Yeah, I get what you're saying though. There should the first one should really kind of just have sold it to you and not make you go, oh, like it kind of shitty that show never finished up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, what happened?
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to get class upgrades and some, maybe some travel in the next episode.
Yeah. Silver belt.
Oh, but sorry, before we talk more about the other episodes, I want to talk about how this episode ends. And this is a very satisfying moment as well, is that when everyone's like cheering the shield hero as he's leaving, and we get to see the people who were always cheering for him being kind of like justified in that, like, we supported this guy from the beginning, and it turns out, woo, we got lucky.
We got lucky, yeah. I liked that too. He like walks up and he's like, "You guys." That's what I liked.
Like that's and also that Nafumi hasn't lost sight of the people who were there with him from the beginning, because like everyone's cheering for him, but he looks and he sees the people that have always been there. I didn't look. I haven't rewatched the episode yet, but is the slave owner in the crowd?
I think so.
He's just sitting there going, He's like, he buys slaves from me. He's still kind of shitty.
Come on, you need more slaves, right? Anybody needs slaves.
Everyone's like, whoa, he actually buys slaves. Yeah, but I thought this was very, very... this could have been the season 1 finale, and I would have been happy.
Yeah.
I agree with I agree with that. I agree
It would have
with
been
that.
okay. It could be better. They need to finish the glass lady off and explain why she's a lady and who she's working for before they end season 1. But yeah, I'd have been all right with it.
What if season 1 ends with them fighting Glass, and like we're about to get like the end of her arc? Like we just like she's about to explain everything, and then like something just stabs her, and she turns into like a glass cup and just falls to the ground and shatters.
And
Like,
then there's a
and then
fish.
it ends.
I
It
can
just
tell you,
ends. Would
this is an
would
even
you, like-
hotter take
would
than
you just-
DJ's.
No, I'm just. It's not a hot take, but it's just like I'm trying to think of the epitome of how the ending would piss off DJ. Where
Typical anime jumping the shark
where
ending.
we
you
get
know?
we get no idea of who
A
she
dragon
was,
flies through,
and she
eats
turns
her, and
into a
goes,
glass.
"I'm the real lord of this world," and then it cuts to black. It's like, what? 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 He calls Naofumi by his name, and he's like, "Hello," by his like real world name, and he's like, "Hello, son," and then it cuts to black. Something like that
It
would be great. The people will love anime writers. Fucking love that shit. All right.
How about Nifumi gets stabbed, dies, and he wakes up to Aqua from Konosuba going, Kazuma, Kazuma!
Nice.
Oh no, it was all a dream! And it was just Kazuma having a dream where he was a badass. Just because they both
He
wear
dies
green.
and he wakes up next to the fruit salesman, and it goes.
I'm pretty sure you guys aren't watching it, but Isekai Quartet, which is a crossover of Konosuba, ReZero, Overlord, and Tanya the Evil, is airing this season as well. It's fantastic, and I just want a season 2 where they have like Slime and Shield Hero in it as well. Just so it's great having people discuss about them being transported to other worlds. It's fantastic.
That's hilarious.
Kazuma makes fun of Subaru. He's like, Subaru, you have such an easy life. So they're going like, oh my god.
No, he doesn't.
He does not. Season 2 hype for that, by the way. All right, you guys have any hot? I don't want to keep using it, but fuck it, it's our thing now. You guys have any? You guys have any hot takes for the rest of the season? DJ's got the king was once a cardinal hero,
And he never got to go back to his homeland.
I like that idea. I like the idea that there's a cardinal hero still sticking around. The only thing that makes me think that won't work is that there's that line where in the first episode where they say that for the heroes to be summoned, all the past cardinal heroes have to die.
Yeah, but it's anime, dude.
Yeah, they could change the rules whenever they want. They could be
They
like,
can change the
I
rules whenever they want.
sneezed when I
100%.
said that, and I meant something else.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, did I say that? No.
I said just kidding in my brain, and haha.
I said there's no fucking way they'll believe this.
Yeah.
In my head. My bad. You guys
It's like,
believe it.
that's what we used to think before the science.
And then science happened, and then we were like, oh, wait a minute.
Let's see. A hot take. I do think that there is a cardinal hero still in the world. I don't think that it's the king, but I think that he's somewhere out there. I think that Silvervelt is going to be just like Faunus World in Ruby, so or Faunus Land. What is it called?
I was singing during your...
You were singing during his thing, which I thought was weird. I don't know. It's not Vale. It's not It's not Atlas. It's one of those other ones. Vacuo.
It's one of the other ones.
Is it Vacuo? No, it's not Vacuo. It's the one I don't know. It's the one Four Kingdom I don't know. Sue me. Menagerie.
Yeah, right.
Figure it out. Figure it out. I am Ruby super fan.
But that's hilarious. Okay, but anyways, I think that it's going to be just like that, and yeah, the king. Oh, how about this? Okay, hot take. The king of Silvervelt is in love with the queen of Melromark, but they can't be together.
Because he's a bird.
Ugh,
Thank you for the assist, DJ, because he's a bird guy.
that would creep me out.
He's like,
the bird people in
Bakak,
Zelda.
I love you, Bakak.
All right,
Hot take.
My hot take here is that they're going to beat the next one with the help of like the scythe guy. Like you get the guy.
What?
Wait for it. Wait for
There's
it.
a scythe guy
In the opening,
right?
they're gonna do that, and then there's the woman who's also in the opening, the spellcaster. I think they're gonna have help with them, and they're gonna be like summoned from the other. They're gonna be summoned from the real world as well, and they're gonna be like a different branch of like cardinal heroes, where they're just not as famous. So he's like the scythe hero, and she's like the book hero.
The
Mage
book hero.
Mage
You
hero.
had me all
I figured
for
it
the
out.
book hero, Jake.
Mage hero.
They'll be like, we're not the cardinal heroes. We're the admiral heroes.
I'm here to
We're
protect
different.
the book.
They're a different color. We're the navy hero.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
But yeah,
You had me until the book hero, okay?
okay. Yeah, but I mean, like maybe there's like a different branch of like cardinal hero, and like their different branch.
That
And
would be cool.
They're from different Japans, or maybe they're from same Japans. Like maybe the scythe hero, or I'm going to refer to him as scythe hero, is from the same Japan as Nifumi, and they're
Ooh.
like, whoa.
That'd be cool.
He's like, Brian? And he knows him.
What if he pretends to know him? He's like Brian, and the guy goes, "My name's fucking
Now me?"
He's like, my name's like Yusuke, but I don't want to be alone anymore. And he's like, yeah, dude, it's me, Brian.
Me, Brian.
Because, dude, I thought you died of butt cancer. Nope,
Nope, the bug cancer didn't get me,
you
man.
get me. I transported here. He's like, okay,
Just like, yeah. Transported it just like, yeah.
transported just like you. And he's like, oh, this was a mistake. Should have picked another hero to vibe with. Yeah, but that's my hot take.
I like it. I like it.
All right, well, we've been going for a decent amount of time. Anthony, you want to wrap it up?
Absolutely. As always, we are so thankful that you guys are sticking with us through our Shield Hero review. Leave a comment down below letting us know what your favorite part of these last 3 episodes were, because man, oh man, they were action-packed. That being said, if you have a suggestion for us, we do also a really trashy anime review, where we review trashy anime, and we tell you whether or not it's as bad as all of the hype says it is. So leave a comment down below if you have an idea for a trashy anime. It's not that we need them, it's just that we're always open to take new suggestions.
Ooh,
for instance, I don't mean to spoil anything, but one of the worst reviewed animes that we've ever had on our podcast has a season 2, and we're going to be reviewing it. That's right, it's Wiz. You didn't know that, but now you do. We're going to be reviewing Wiz here on the Anime Dumpster Dive with our buds over at the Nerd Blaze. Check that out when it does come out. As always, we appreciate the thumbs up, the likes, and the subscribes. That's the word. So do that.
We're nailing it.
Nailing it.
Dang it. I'm pulling a DJ.
You are. You're kind
Anyways.
of going everywhere.
What do you mean you're pulling me? You're not doing it perfectly.
Anyways, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an Anime Dumpster Dive podcast. And check out the link in the description below to check out the art that has been recently updated on our channel. We are super appreciative for the art and the artist who did them. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. Send it right there. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Just ends at yes, yes. All right.
Everyone loves a good yes,
No,
yes.
I'm not ending it at the yes, yes. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yes, yes.